What's up, kings and queens? It's your boy Dan from Daft Previews. I got 3 picks. I got 2 in the WNBA, 1 in the NBA. Going to take you through that today. If that sounds interesting, let's go.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to your line from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice on the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.
Before we jump into the picks, quick recap on the day that was. I shared 3 picks with you guys yesterday. We go 2-1 on those. The one we lost, absolutely brutal. But I'll get to that in a moment. VIP still made a bit of profit. Soccer was king for us. So our soccer bets hit. At WNBA, NBA, not so well, but at the same time, I didn't mind the reads. Let's talk about it. In the WNBA, the loser we had was Marina Mabry, under 19.5 points and assists. Man, we got extreme closing line value. Her points line dropped 3 points after I put my video up last night. Looks like everybody was backing Marina Mabry to struggle, and she showed us. She was excellent today. You got to tip your cap off to her. She was fantastic. I didn't anticipate that, and I don't think anybody else did. So well done to Marina Mabry. That's unfortunate. I take that bet 100 times in a row. Unfortunately, today wasn't the day. But we hit on Alyssa Thomas under 7.5 assists. That was a win. 7 assists, gritty defensive game. That was a great odds as well. So pretty happy with the outcome there. And we took Jalen Brunson over 29.5 points. That was clean. It happened the way I expected. A lot of volume, a lot of free throws. Just capitalized on the way things were going to work. So Jalen Brunson, he brings it home for us as well. I did have another loser on the NBA, which was Miles McBride over 7.5 points. I put this on late. He had 5 points at halftime, but he only played 8 minutes in the second half, and he didn't even take a shot. So it was looking great. Second half did us in there. I don't know what the coach is doing in the second half, but hey, that's his job, not mine. In terms of value players, it's probably the main pain point at the moment. We had one that was looking great, which was Miles Turner, under 14.5 points and under 6.5 rebounds. He didn't get close to his rebounds, and he wasn't looking like hitting his points either. Then he scored 12 points in the fourth quarter to kill the value play there. But it's all good. We've got a staking plan, which allows us to take a lot of risk every single day. And still keep our bankroll alive. So we'll continue to do what we do. Hopefully, we sweep the picks on today. We've got 3 of those suckers. Now let's get into it. Jumping into Props Madness, the best tool you are going to find if you like betting on player props. Go ahead and check it out. You get a 7-day free trial and a discount when you use the code DAFT when you sign up. One other thing I want to call out is my projections. I always talk about this person's projected to play this many minutes and yada, yada, yada. And I always get asked, where do you get your projections from? I get them all from RotoWire. I'm on a paid plan, but I've got a discount code for you. If you use the code DAFT when you start up with RotoWire, you'll get 20% off any single plan. So I'll leave some details around that in the video description as well. Now let's talk about the NBA first. We've got the Thunder versus the Wolves, Game 3. Normally, Game 3 is quite difficult to cap. Not only do you have to factor in adjustments being made from the previous game, but you have to factor in the change of venues and who plays well at home, who plays well on the road, yada, yada, yada. So there's a few more things to consider, which is another reason why I'm going light with this one. But let's talk about the only play that I'm running. Firstly, I considered running back Jaden McDaniels and Naz Reid. Jaden McDaniels points, Naz Reid rebounds. Both of those have taken a slight bump since the last game. I bet those in the last game. We got the winners there. I thought about running it back, but I decided to pivot. I'm betting on Nickeil Alexander-Walker over 7.5 points today. So far in this series, he scored 8 and 17 points. He got 28 and 25 minutes, which is fantastic. The reason why Nickeil Alexander-Walker is seeing more time is because he plays both ends. Plays defense, gives him another solid option offensively, and he's been playing okay. And I think the fact that he can play defense and give them something on offense is going to kind of not guarantee him some minutes, but I'd project him to play 25 to 28 minutes as well. I also like the fact that his volume's great. In the first game, he took 11 shots. The second game, he took 8 shots. It's all looking nice. What I did was being conservative around it, using Props Madness. I just went in and had a look at his volume. So if Nickeil Alexander-Walker takes 7 to 9 shots on the season, he's over this line in 19 out of 26 games, averaging 9.5 points. So that's where we're looking at 7 to 9, even though he's averaging a little bit more than that. Being conservative, if the volume's there, good chance of covering. In terms of how he likes to score, obviously a lot of it is as a spot-up shooter. And we know that the OKC Thunder allow points to spot-up shooters. A lot of attention is going to be on Anthony Edwards, who scored a lot of points. They obviously did a good job of shutting down Julius Randle. But the OKC Thunder are always going to allow good looks to role players. It just comes down to, will those role players make their shots? And I'm rolling with Nickeil Alexander-Walker today to do what he did in Game 2 at home. make some of these wide open shots. So I like the 7.5 points. He can get it done. If he doesn't take 8, 9, 10 shots in this game, then it's a pretty bad read. But if he takes the volume, regardless if he makes them or not, the volume is the main thing I'm betting on here. So hopefully Nickeil Alexander-Walker takes some shots, plays better at home, and hopefully Minnesota can extend this series, because I don't want to see a sweep here. That gives us less games to bet on. But that's the only bet I have in this game. Outside of that, I'll just be watching it as a fan. Jumping over to the WNBA, we've only got 2 games. I won't be able to watch neither of them, as you can see here. These games are early as F for me. 3 a.m. the Liberty game and 5 a.m. the Wings game. So I might see the back end of that, but we'll see. We've got the Liberty versus the Fever. I think this is going to be a very entertaining game. The Liberty, probably the best team in the WNBA. The Fever, a lot of people's favorite team, I would say. I would say the Fever aren't as good as people think they are, but the spread tells us this game is going to be close. We've got a 4-point spread here. I think the Liberty cover, but we'll see. Let's talk about what I'm betting on and why. So in this game, I'm looking to bet on Jonquel Jones. I'm taking over in her points and rebounds, over 22.5 points and rebounds. Now, personally, I love her rebounds more, 8.5. But this is juice to the max. Everywhere you go, this line should move to 9.5. The other thing I factored in was maybe just taking her for a double-double. You get plus money for that as well. But instead, I just went with the points and rebounds. I think there's a good opportunity for not only for her to score some points, but also to get some rebounds. So I like both ends there for Jonquel Jones. I obviously lean a little bit more to the rebound side of things. But let's talk about the matchup. The Indiana Fever consistently getting cooked down low by bigs. We had Brianna Jones given the business in 2 consecutive games. Brittany Griner had a strong game against them. Angel Reese dominated the boards against them. But yeah, you could argue a lot of it was her own shots. But the Fever don't have the most size down low. They've got Aaliyah Boston, who's foul prone, Natasha Howard, who's actually quite small for her position. Jonquel Jones should be able to beast them, to be honest. Her production so far this season is pretty decent. Looking at the year, she's only played 2 games, but 27 points and rebounds in a strong game against the Aces. Played 30 minutes, 17 and 10, covered both her points and her rebounds line. Then against the Chicago Sky, she only plays 22 minutes, 25-point blowout. She gets 11 points, 7 boards, doesn't come back, doesn't play the fourth quarter. Now she's up against the Fever in a game that a lot of people are anticipating to be close. Jonquel Jones should see a lot more minutes. I'm looking at 28 to 30 minutes here for Jonquel Jones and for her to dominate in both points and rebounds. If we look at the head-to-head matchups, we can see this is all last year. She's covered this line in 3 out of the 4 games, averaging 24.8 points and rebounds. She did smash her rebounds line in all of these games. So she's averaging 11.8 rebounds against the Fever in those 4 games, which is why I like the rebounds a little bit more. Gives me a little bit more confidence. Scoring-wise, she did cover this in 3 out of the 4 games. One of the games, she went well under, didn't see the volume, and only finished with 6 points. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. But I'm looking for Jonquel Jones to really just dominate. And the thing I like about Jonquel Jones, even though she's a big girl, she scores in the post, scores around the basket. She has the ability to stretch the floor. She's got a nice-looking shot on her, can shoot some threes. And I think this Liberty team, the way that they're constructed, is a very balanced attack that they have right now. The ball is moving around really well. There's not much isolation plays. Like, they're playing really good team basketball where everybody's going to get a touch, which is why I'm not betting on Brianna Stewart or Sabrina, whereas Jonquel Jones at 13.5 as a points line, I definitely think that's coverable for her. And then looking at the points and rebounds, I love them both. Provided this game stays competitive, Jonquel Jones should do a little bit of both. Some points, some rebounds, hopefully some offensive rebounds into putbacks. I think that'd be a great way to go for Jonquel. But that's all I'm running with. The other things, it's a tough matchup for the Fever. The people that do, the reason why I'm not betting on anyone in the Fever, the people that actually have a good matchup for the Fever are the spot-up shooters. And I'm thinking more of like your Sophie Cunninghams, your Lexi Hulls, but they're both the blonde girls off the bench, and they don't have markets available for them. Whereas I feel like the lines for a lot of these starters are probably too sharp for me to want to entertain. The other one is DeWanna Bonner under 6.5 points if you're a psychopath, but I get it. DeWanna Bonner struggled in the last few games. She doesn't get time. She doesn't see the ball. 6.5 is quite low. All it takes is a bit of foul trouble. Suddenly her minutes increase. Maybe a lucky 3-pointer. She gets hot. Whatever. That play could easily get dusted. So even though I like it, not playing it. And for the Liberty, yeah, like as I said, I think all of them are capable of scoring today, but I like Jonquel Jones to really cover. So That's the only bet that I have in that game. But then we have the Wings versus the Dream. And in this one, I've watched all the games that these two teams have played. So I have a pretty good idea of who does what and how they do it. So the person I'm rolling with today is the Rook. I'm going with Paige Beckers. And I'm taking over 6.5 assists. So you can get this at plus money right now. But you can get 5.5 assists as well if you like to drink a little bit of juice. But I'm rolling with the 6.5 assists at plus money. Only 3 games into a short career. She's covered this line in 2 out of 3. In her first game, tough matchup against the Lynx. It looked like they weren't sure who was going to do what between her and Enrique. They were really just taking turns, which didn't work very well. And then against the Storm, we started to see them really sit into their roles. Paige Beckers started to handle the ball a lot more, playing the traditional point guard role, whereas Enrique playing a little bit more off ball. And then in the last game against Minnesota Lynx, Enrique was great off ball and Paige was terrific on ball. And I think that's the best way for them to do it, which I feel her assist prop is where the value is going to be in this offense. So Enrique should score well is what I'm anticipating. Paige Beckers should get the potential assist volume. The other thing I like about this play, actually, up against the Dream today, and the Dream have a larger team, I would say, which means they're a little bit vulnerable to transition points. So we can see it here. They give up the 10th most transition points on the season. There's only 13 teams, so one of the worst teams in the league so far at defending the transition game. And this Dallas Wings team have a potent 3. There's 3 players that can really punish them in transition. Paige Beckers herself, handling the rock. Enrique, take a look at Enrique. She's scoring most of her points in transition. Dejanay Carrington scoring most of her points in transition. And I think if these girls run, Paige Beckers is going to find them. You can get very easy assists when you're a team that runs. And I think that's what Dallas Wings have to do against the Dream. They can't play slow. They don't have the size. Like this Dallas team up front, they got Maisha Hines-Allen and Alyssa Smith. They're forwards. And in terms of forwards, they're probably smaller than the traditional 4s that are rolling around the WNBA, whereas the Dream have Brianna Jones and Brittany Griner, you could argue they're both traditional centers in the WNBA. So you don't want to play slow with the Dream. You got to beat them with pace. And I think the Wings get out and run, and Paige Beckers can rack up the assists that way. So I'm rolling with Paige Beckers over 6.5 assists. The Dream, they've also given up assists to similar types of players. We had Brittany Sykes get 5 assists in their first game. Line was 3.5. Caitlin Clark had 11 assists. Her line was at 9.5. Their most recent game against the Fever, that was the game where everybody went under. So I'm not putting too much stock in that. That game was just built to go under. But I think the matchup here for Paige Beckers is a nice one as well. So I like that. And I also like the fact that she's playing a lot of minutes. Take a look at these minutes. 37 minutes in her last 2 games. She played 30 minutes in her first game. But, man, if she's going to play more than 35 minutes, there's only 40 minutes in a WNBA game. So she's pretty much out there the whole time. If Paige Beckers is going to be playing 90% of the game, I like our chances here. Over 6.5 assists, plus money. Let's go. So that's a wrap on the video, gang. I forgot to call out, yes, this thing on my nose. It's to help me breathe. When I get sick, I wear it so I can breathe when I sleep. That's all it is. But I appreciate you guys for watching the video. And if you made it this far, I just want to say thank you. Drop your comments down below. The channel is growing fast. I think we might hit 30,000 subscribers real soon. So like the video, subscribe to the channel for more. We're dropping bangers just like this every single day. And if you can, throw your support my way. Follow Baby Daft on Instagram. I'll leave a link to that in the video description as well. But I wish you guys the absolute best. Let's green out. Let's go.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to your line from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice on the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.